Live from Central Park, it's Disney's Pocahontas, the premiere in the park, with your hosts Pat Collins and Ed Begley Jr., plus live reports from downtown Julie Brown, Danny Bonaducci, and Stephanie Miller.
From the great city of New York and the Great Lawn, welcome to the world's largest outdoor Cineplex.
It's terrific, isn't it, Pat? There's 100,000 people here. This is the first show of its kind like this, to put a show on of this magnitude, this many screens in Central Park. And what better place to have it for a movie with this great environmental message?
The movie opens June 16th in LA and 5 other cities, June 23rd here in New York and around the rest of the country. And Ed Begley Jr. and I will be ably assisted today by 3 intrepid reporters out there on the Great Lawn.
We have with us downtown Julie Brown, from the Partridge Family, Danny Bonaducci, and radio talk show host Stephanie Miller. Stephanie, are you with us?
Come on in, Steph.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Ed. How you doing? Did I also mention, by the way, I'm getting my own late-night television show in the fall. That'll be the Stephanie Miller Show. I thought I should get that plug in since there's a good chance I may be trampled before this is over. But enough about me. Let's say hello to my good friend. You may not recognize him without that big colored bus, but here's Danny Bonaducci.
Thank you, Stephanie. You know, if you watch the news, you hear a lot about family values these days. But if you look around me, you'll see the American family is alive, well, and in Central Park for a special sneak preview of Pocahontas. Let's get into the thick of it with my pal, downtown Julie Brown.
Thanks a lot, Danny. Did I tell you that Stephanie Miller's got her own show coming out soon? Oh, okay, we've been through that. Here I am in the thick of Central Park. It's never looked so beautiful. I'm knee-high with kids from the age of 1 to my age. So we're going to have a good time tonight. Look forward to it. And now it's back to you, Pat and Ed.
And it's because of kids that a lot of stars have told me, Robin Williams included, that they've lent their voices to various animated movies in the past. And I can tell you that I think there must be, you're an actor, you can tell me, there must be no greater legacy than to leave that behind for your kids.
Yeah, a lot of these stars, they do big action adventures and what have you, but doesn't it say something about movies when the things that they're proudest of, the things they want to include and bring their kids to, are movies like this that have great values to them?
Mel Gibson, who's done the voice of John Smith in Pocahontas, also did it because of his kids. And you've got some buddies whose voices are in this movie, sir.
Linda Hunt, I work with her on She-Devil, and she plays the voice of Willow, the tree. David Ogden Stiers is the evil governor, and he and I worked on MASH and Mastergate, and he's a wonderful actor, does a great job. And now we've got a hello, and we're going to see all the cast of characters now in a little clip.
Here they are.
Chère mademoiselle, it is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you tonight.
The difference between playing a cartoon character and a real character is that, of course, that nobody sees you, but it's almost like working on radio was in the old days, I guess. Your voice has to portray everything. The voice has to give the impression of what the character is like.
Just the way you look tonight.
I I was in this huge recording studio, and there, behind the glass, I call them the command station every once in a while, and I'm there at this microphone, and I'm thinking about screaming down to my friend who's down below this waterfall, or jumping off, or if she's running through the woods, just to get the feeling of her running through the woods. I'd run around the room, get myself out of breath, and end up, you know, back there at the microphone, and, you know, try 3 shots at it and see how it comes out and see how it sounds. Flit, he's back. Come on, Miko. Flit, he's back. Come on, Miko. It's hard to actually look at her and say that she's exactly me, but yes, I do see occasionally certain expressions come out, or her ears. She has my ears.
Like everything else in this picture, less is more. And Irene gave a performance that was very controlled and confident. It fit perfectly with Pocahontas.
Little Mischief is her name. She constantly gets herself into trouble.
The other day by chance saw an old barn dance, and I just laughed till I thought I'd die. But I think I've seen about everything when I see an elephant fly.
Percy starts out like the traditional villainous sidekick in that he is the pampered pooch, and he pretty much mimics everything that Ratcliffe does. I enjoy the part where he's in the bathtub eating the cherries, and then Miko comes in and spoils everything.
Both Flit and Miko would play a part of sort of Pocahontas' conscience, whereas Flit is very serious, Miko is more fun-loving. He sort of shows off 2 sides of Pocahontas' character. We don't want Miko sitting up on 2 legs and you know, doing the hula.
First thing you find is you get the script and you start reading it. Hey, that looks good. And you start to draw it. You know, it looks different than it read. Something's not translating there. And so then you start to change around the script, and then somebody comes up with a design for a character, and you go, you know, and instead of a turkey, maybe we should have a raccoon in this picture.
Come on, Miko.
Look.
Someone who watch over me.
Pocahontas can see her. John Smith cannot see her. She is Pocahontas' spiritual guide. Pocahontas goes to her for any advice that she has or she needs.
Oh. Hello, John Smith.
The tree is talking to me.
Then you should talk back.
Upon this sand.
Linda was wonderful. I think she was thrilled to be a voice for this character. She has a perfect grandmotherly quality that is very warm. Any inflection that she would give, we would put into the animation, put into the acting. So her vocal talent affected all of the acting. And I'm sure it affected probably some of the design that I'm not even aware of.
Listen with your heart. You're really sort of delivering a song that you've heard before.
At one point, Grandmother Willow sticks one of her willow branches into the water and says, "Look at the ripple, child. See how small it starts out at first, but as it grows bigger and bigger." And this is her point being that one person may start out small, but if you do something, that little touch there may cause these incredible ripples, and that's what Pocahontas did.
Well, how do you do, Pocahontas?
Only you beneath the moon.
I need your hand first.
It's a type of animation an animator doesn't get much of a chance to do because there's a lot of me inside that character, being that he is kind of a beloved rogue.
Don't plan to miss one. In a land I can claim, a land I can tame, the greatest adventure is mine. Keep on working.
They put hidden video cameras around the place and they catch you reading. And what's your name? And every now and then you catch, in the cartoon itself, you catch that they've stolen an expression off your face. And I probably tend to like do too much, so they've been kind to me and they've you know, clamped down on the amount of expression I'm capable of. But you can see what they've done. It's very clever.
Look, we don't have to fight them.
In Mel Gibson's case, it was adding that little bit of boyish charm.
They're not savages. They can help us. They know the land.
Mel Gibson's voice added that little roguish boyishness quality to it. It was just right.
The MetLife blimp Snoopy 1 is cruising above New York City. Do you see it, Ed, out there? The blimp's going to be providing us with our aerial views of tonight's festivities in Central Park. Ed Begley Jr. and I will be back with all of those festivities right after this.
Live from Central Park, Disney's Pocahontas, the premiere in the park, sponsored in part by your Tri-State Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota. By Bob's Stores, for people who wear clothes. By Playmates, the makers of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures. And by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealers. See your Ford dealer and see for yourself.
From Snow White to The Lion King, the Disney animated movies have been based on fairy tales and works of great children's fiction, but Pocahontas, the 33rd movie, very different.
Yeah, this is the first animated feature that Disney has done that deals with a historical figure, a real character.
And a character that I thought I knew something about until the staff gave me 17 books and I said, oh, I don't really know this story at all until I read about it. So we asked Ed and Maria Conchino Alonso from Kiss of the Spider Woman and John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard and Petula Clark and our friends, the kids at the Campbell School at Metuchen, New Jersey, they're in the 4th grade, to put together our version of Pocahontas.
The untold story.
The untold.
I don't even know the story of Pocahontas, do you?
Not really. Yeah, what's the deal?
Early spring 1607, 3 ships sailed from London, headed where? To the New World, a.k.a. America. Those aboard figured, we'll claim it for the English.
May. Ships hit land. Round what's now called Virginia Beach. They float into the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, turn to port, that's left, and sail into the New World, courtesy of the James River.
Who are the people on the ship?
New World settlers, who else? Beat from months of arm wrestling the Atlantic, they hadn't had a decent meal in a while.
You can't count the one we ate at the going-away party with His Majesty King James, who we named the river after.
These guys took one look at that land and a single word popped into their heads. Mine. They didn't know that there were already native people living there, and frankly, they didn't much care.
We just want to find gold, get rich, and Indians are not. That's what we're going to do.
What about the Indians?
Well, the Powhatan Indian tribe had one collective thought. We hunted this neck of the woods since as far back as we can remember.
And they weren't real happy that someone else wanted to claim it.
Yeah, so where does Pocahontas fit into the story?
Funny you should ask. Pocahontas was the favorite daughter of Chief Powhatan.
I'm princess, and I don't have to hang around beating and cooking all day. I get to play, climbing trees, swimming. Oh, I'm so curious about the pale strangers, and I really like to see them up close.
Wasn't that dangerous?
Yeah, wasn't she scared? Pocahontas? No way. I know every inch of the forest. I know the spirits who live in plants, in animals.
Now, Dad was another story. He was worried.
I've heard stories, especially about the magic sticks that shoot fire at people.
How did Pocahontas meet the settlers?
One day, one of them took a little detour outside of Jamestown.
Captain John Smith, a head honcho at the settlement. Oh, I fought in Europe, been sold to slavery in Russia, and somehow managed to live through it all.
Well, some of Powhatan's warriors found him and decided that he'd look a whole lot better with a rope around him. So they took John Smith kicking and screaming into the village so that Powhatan himself could have the honor of killing him.
Was that the end?
Almost. There was his head on the block, ready to be turned into pumpkin pulp. But then Pocahontas shows up, throws herself on John Smith. No, don't kill him. And those warriors froze on the spot.
And since she was a princess and all, Powhatan told the warriors, back off. So Smith got to live.
That was really important, wasn't it? She changed history.
In a way, it led to kind of a truce between the Indians and the settlers, who, by the way, were not doing so hot. I mean, imagine. Let's dig for more gold, and while we're at it, let's not forget that the king wants us to find a waterway through to the Pacific.
Everybody knows there's no such thing. Yeah, that was dumb.
Maybe. But how do we know you can't get there from here? It's not like we've got a map. But they were wasting their time.
What should they have done instead?
Well, they might have tried to survive. They were starving.
And the Pocahontas stage, right?
You got it. Dad, give the settlers corn and supplies, or else they'll die.
And Pocahontas became a regular at the Jamestown settlement. You may wonder, did she see Captain John Smith?
Oh, sure. They were friends by this time. He brought me beads and all kinds of great stuff.
Well, one day when Captain Smith was visiting the tribe to talk business, Pocahontas heard that the chief was going to have him killed.
Why? I thought they were friends.
Yes, so did Captain Smith. But guess who warned me just in time?
Pocahontas, what a great story. She was really neat.
Wait, that's not the end of the story. Pocahontas doesn't exactly live happily ever after.
Well, she continues her friendship with the settlers. Captain Smith got in the way of a keg of gunpowder and was badly burned.
One day, 6 years after the first Jamestown settlers landed, Pocahontas was minding her own business in the forest and was kidnapped by one of the settlers.
What did they want?
Food, as usual. You know, they never really got it together how to live in Virginia, as they had finally named the place. So they thought,
we'll kidnap the chief's daughter. He'll give us some food. We'll give her back.
So did he give them food?
Wrong. Meanwhile, the story gets a little fuzzy here.
What do you mean?
She ended up staying with the settlers. We don't know if it was by choice or not, but she eventually converted to Christianity and actually married a white man.
Did she live happily ever after?
Happily, hard to say.
But I had a son and got to travel to England. They took me to the royal court. Artists painted my portrait. Poets wrote songs about me.
She was hot. But then a sad thing happened. There she was on her way back when she got smallpox.
Pocahontas died when she was only 22 years old. She's buried in Gravesend, England at St. George's Church.
But her legend lives.
She was even called the mother of our country. Think about it. Without her, the Virginia colonies wouldn't have made it.
And we might have been friends without Pocahontas.
Okay, being the fashion diva that I am, I had to check out the duds of what the dudes and dudettes and all the kids were wearing, so roll it. Well, everybody got up bright and early for this special event, not only to get a good seat, they all came here with one thing on their mind, what to wear. Well, I'm not only here to enjoy the magical event, but I'm also here to give something away today. That's right, I have a special trophy for the person with the perfect Pocahontas outfit of the day. This is what I'm going to give away, but they're going to have to work really hard to get it from me because I think I look very Pocahontas today. I want to keep it for myself. Well, most people are going to be here all day, and without knowing what the weather's going to be like, we wanted to know exactly what the families brought. So, what's in the bag?
Everything's in the bag. We
emergency toilet paper. We have sweatshirts and changes of clothing and more sweatshirts. And we've got jeans in here, extra jeans.
Here you go.
So you've come prepared, rain or shine.
Rain or shine.
Jacket. Rain slickers right here. A top to cover us in case it rains. Sunglasses, everything you can imagine, including a portable toilet seat.
Well, I think this family has come well prepared. The premiere of Pocahontas is a Disney event, so we have our own rules for our glamour do's and don'ts. So this is definitely a do's. A lot of people have their hair in pigtails. This is going to be a big fashion statement today. Do. Don't. 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 Do's. Double do. This is a big don't. Well, I think I found the winner of today's trophy. I wanted so much to keep it for myself because I love it. But she's got the perfect Pocahontas outfit on, so here it goes for the perfect Pocahontas outfit. Today you get our trophy. Would you like that? There you go. Oh, so who are you today?
Pocahontas.
You better believe it. Well, enjoy your gold. Well, it really doesn't matter what you wear today because the purpose is to come here and have a great time, right? Everybody's having such a fun time here in the park. They're getting ready for the big event. You're going to hear the sexiest voice and see the sexiest face when we come back. Mel Gibson. So keep it where it is.
Gets it.
Before we take you to Stephanie Miller, I want to make sure you know she has a new show, a late-night show on UPN 9. Stephanie, are you with us?
Hey, Steph. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. Darn, that means I have to take my coat off now? I hate this. All right. Yes, I'm here with, what's your name?
Monica Taylor. Monica, she's won a lot of money from me. I just want to say that. And, of course, her lovely daughter.
And Julie Letterman.
Exactly. That's what I said. Well, you know, they've asked me to introduce this next piece about Mel Gibson because, well, you know, we dated for a while.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
After me.
Yeah. Anyway, so, you know, I don't know. He calls all the time. You know, does he do that to you, too?
I hate that, yeah.
I hate he's so clingy. You know, I've told him to move on with his life, to go forward, but he won't. Yeah, well.
Sure. You know what? Why don't we take a look at the Mel piece now? I know it'll be kind of misty for us, but we'll hold hands. Let's take a look.
Too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my love. Love's going to leave me.
He's very handsome, very talented. He's a versatile actor.
What do you think?
Well, I think he's pretty gorgeous.
I want to marry you.
Sensitive.
No mercy.
And I'm too sexy for my hat. Too sexy for my hat. What you think about that?
Hey, look, is that Smith?
That's him, all right.
The old sea dog, Captain John Smith.
That's right. I'm not about to let you boys have all the fun.
John Smith, you know, he's a very complicated character. I think from the beginning, when we thought of John Smith, Mel Gibson jumped to mind.
I'm John Smith. And what is your name? You don't understand a word I'm saying, do you? There's a world of possibilities there in animation that don't exist elsewhere. And they're all at someone's fingertips.
In Mel Gibson's case, it was adding that little bit of boyish charm to the character, whereas before, he might have been a little bit on the sullen side.
We told him there were a couple of songs, and he said, you know, can I have a crack at it?
I'm a confirmed kind of like shower singer. And that's kind of where I wanted to leave it, but I thought, what the hell, I'll give it a whack.
Oh, that's scary. I don't think so. I just like the body, not the voice.
If England needs a hand, well, here it is.
I think his singing will be lovely because I think he's got a lovely, sexy voice.
You can read the telephone book. That's fine.
And what language?
He's a great actor. He's a movie star. He's a hunk. He's a very busy man. And he came in and sang for us, which was, I know, a definite challenge for him.
No, you can't do that. There's something refreshing about trying something new and even, you know, stepping out of the shower, coming out of the shower, as it were, and trying to yodel a few tunes.
He is so game. He'll just try anything. And the truth is, he sings quite well.
All of my life I have searched for a land like this one. A wilder, more challenging country I couldn't design. Hundreds of dangers await, and I don't plan to miss one. In a land I can claim, a land I can tame.
I'm sure that they, like, got me in the laboratory afterwards and sort of fiddled with notes and stuff to make them sound a bit more pure, you know, take the bottom end out.
We kidded Mel and said, you know, if you hadn't wasted all this time becoming a movie star, if you'd really gone and worked on your voice, you could have been doing road companies of Les Miserables today.
I think he can do it. He can do anything. He's good. He's versatile. I like him.
Cut! We will!
If it's anything like the rest of his talents, I'm sure it'll be great.
We're both mad.
There are a number of sequences, I think, in this movie that Mel does that are tricky material, and that some of the romantic material, and I think he just found a way to make it all believable.
It's all right. It's just a handshake. Here, let me show you.
Nothing's happening.
No, I need your hand first. He's a bit of a klutz, too, when he's around her, you know. And, I don't know, there's something compassionate in the nature of that character that I think wants to know more and wants to sort of give, you know. It's as simple as that.
I'm so sorry.
For what? This? I've gotten out of worse scrapes than this. Can't think of any right now, but I used to get very moved by Dumbo, believe it or not, when I was a kid. And I've watched my kids watch that stuff, too. And, like, there they are, sitting on the floor watching Dumbo with big tears running down when the elephant's, like, with his mother in the cage and stuff. It really kills him, you know, gets him right here. So it's, that sort of stuff works. And you can only get away with that kind of stuff in animation. Pocahontas, look at me. I'd rather die tomorrow than live 100 years without knowing you.
Oh, cool. This is frightening.
Yeah. Too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my love. Love's going to leave me. And I'm too sexy for this song.
We do not know what tonight's event cost Disney, and the Disney folks are not going to tell us, but just know this, that there is enough power in the park tonight to electrify the entire World Trade Center. That's just one of the little facts. So let's take a look at what it took to put tonight together. It's amazing.
This is a red letter day, a coup d'etat. That's the signal to get going.
This is all a first for us. We've got 1,500 people working on this as of today. It's going great.
We got that finished down there or not?
Mom, guess what I do?
The electricity in ourselves. We've got enough power here to power the World Trade Center.
3, 2, 1, action!
If we took all the speaker cabinets we're using, stacked them one on top of the other, it would be 2/3 the height of the Empire State Building.
And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on?
It's going to be huge. These screens are about 80 feet tall, 120 feet wide. Equates to about a little over 9 stories in height. They're made out of sea containers.
For me, it seems a little bit fragile.
We've stacked one sea container on top of another and welded them together. They are on a gravel base to maintain stability.
They're like big Legos, aren't they?
Our dancers are fabulous and our singers are sensational. This is quite a unique situation. Now, this is probably the largest scale performance that one could ever do. It's certainly for the largest audience.
Sign in, ladies, and get a number.
We had our casting call in May, and we had a fabulous turnout. We had hundreds of young performers come and audition for us.
Good morning.
I think there are 300 girls here today, or 400 girls, so.
I signed in at 309.
Yeah. We picked really the cream of the crop, and we've got really the best of New York, I must say. We've been rehearsing for just 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's it. Today we're blocking.
It's good to work outdoors in this kind of weather.
The bug spray.
Gotta get that off.
Gotta get those bugs away.
Before they get me.
Smile.
Guys, this is the main stage. It's pretty cool.
This is our first day for the cast to be on stage, so we're going through slowly, step by step. Right now we're going through a safety walkthrough because we've built a city out here. It's a tremendous production. When we do a big production number, we're spreading out across the whole Great Lawn for the entire audience to get a great view.
I'm going to go see Pocahontas in the park. Got my ticket, my lawn chair, my blanket, my cooler. Just need a few more things. Well, I'm set.
Are you ready?
We're ready to go.
I'm ready. Definitely ready.
M-I-C, see you real soon. K-E-Y. Why? Because we like you. L-O-U-S-E.
Woo! Danny Bonaducci here, live in Central Park for the premiere of Pocahontas. You know, for most people, as you could see on that tape, this would have been a logistical nightmare. But if you combine Disneyland and Disney World, 100,000 people is actually a slow day. That's a big city. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. The live stage show is going on. Stomp was just with us. Don't go anywhere. You'll miss a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Paint with all the colors of the wind. Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
Ed, what's your favorite song from a Disney animated movie?
Well, my favorite from the old Disney movies is Jiminy Cricket's classic, Let Your Conscience Be Your Guide. Those are words to live by. But the current songs, pick your Alan Menken or Stephen Schwartz song. They're all great.
They had an unusual challenge for the score because the guys had to turn out those pop songs that will sell the CDs, but they had to also be faithful to Native American culture and the colonial musical period. But they did it. We were in a screening together last week, and we loved that score.
Colors of the Wind, I predict, will win an Academy Award. You heard it here.
You heard it here first. Let's see how they did it.
And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. For whether we are white or copper skinned, we need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. Need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the
The Colors of the Wind was the first song that Stephen Schwartz and I wrote for Pocahontas. Lyrically, it's such a brilliant lyric by Stephen Schwartz, and he's really drawing on the wisdom of Native Americans. And the scene is one in which Pocahontas is trying to impart to John Smith what it is that the settlers didn't understand.
The way Alan and I evolved into working is that I would bring him something to start from. Sometimes I would have heard a tape of something, and I'd say, listen to this, maybe this is a good rhythm for us to jump from, but not much more than that. And then Alan would basically start from there and then come up with the music, and then I would go back and do the words. I think Alan has a real gift for melody and for songs that are deceptive in their simplicity. I mean, you think that they're really simple, but when you analyze them, there's actually quite a lot of musical sophistication going on there.
When we first were listening to different styles of music from Native Americans, and one of the things we wanted to avoid doing, that cliche thing. And sometimes what we think of as the cliche has validity, and so we tried to bring that in, that into something that's really expressive of the inner voice and the inner life of the character of Pocahontas.
I love singing that song. I mean, I've sung it a lot now, and I feel like I always am finding new things about it. I mean, the lyrics are wonderful, and what the song expresses, I think, is beautiful and important, and it's so singable. I mean, it's a great melody, and just Alan writes songs that just are really fit in the voice really well. I've heard that there are children all across America who are already singing that song.
Luckily, I think we have the best of both worlds in a great actress, for the speaking voice, and a great singing actress for the singing voice. And Judy is, masterful. It was thrilling watching her sing in front of a 60 or 70-piece orchestra. She is a consummate musician.
The fact is that, Judy Kuhn was the first one who laid down the demo of Colors of the Wind, which we fell in love with, and whoever we got, as good as they were, nobody could knock it out of the park like Judy.
Colors of the Wind was the first song written for the film almost 3 years ago, and it really became the cornerstone upon which the movie was built.
I think Colors of the Wind probably is the most important statement of the movie. Now that I've completed all the songs and all the score, like with any score, it's all interwoven and interdependent, and you can't have one without the other. You can't have that without the English singing. The gold of Cortez, the jewels of Pizarro's will seem like mere trinkets by this time tomorrow. All those colors, no pun intended, contrasted with the Native American colors, really what make Pocahontas, what make the score of Pocahontas unique. I can't speak for Stephen Schwartz, whose lyrics and whose words these are, but I can say that the songs are sort of different functions.
If I were writing it for a contemporary American, probably we would have called the song Just Around the Corner. And when I thought about it, I thought, well, what's the Native American version of Just Around the Corner? And that's how we came up with Just Around the River Bend.
And musically, it moves a lot more rapidly. What I love most about rivers is you can't step in the same river twice. The water's always changing, always flowing. It's got its own style. Colors of the Wind, again, is more of a sort of almost an anthem. So they serve different purposes dramatically and different purposes in the story. Just Around the River Bend is really our first introduction to Pocahontas musically.
I will get real passionate talking about Alan's music because I think he's an astonishing composer and an extraordinary human being. But when you go to record, this is a man who knows, and Stephen too, in great measure. I mean, there's enough creative friction there that they hone things even more, but they know who the characters are, they know what's going to work.
The truth is, I'm busy. I'm working on Hunchback of Notre Dame and Hercules and a project called King David with Tim Rice. It's a stage musical, and other stage musicals to come, and Beauty and the Beast, around the world. And so it's been a pleasure, but I've got to get back to work.
We'll be back with more live Pocahontas in Central Park after this.
I feel it there beyond those trees or right behind these waterfalls. Can I ignore that sound of distant drumming? For a handsome, sturdy husband who builds handsome, sturdy walls and never dreams that something might be coming just around the river.
With the overture of the live show that's about to begin on that 60-foot high stage behind us going on, we go to you, Stephanie Miller, on the Great Lawn. Come in, Steph.
Thank you, Pat. You know, I just want you to know that I have one of these things now. I've wanted one of these my whole life, and now I have one. I believe it's an earthworm from 3 Mile Island. I'm very happy. I'm here with my friends, Colleen and Steve. How you guys doing?
Good, very good.
Very good.
All right, I have a question for you. Who are your favorite Disney heroines?
I would probably say Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Yeah.
And how about you?
Mine's not a heroine, but a villain. Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, now here's a question for you. Has anyone ever seen Cruella de Vil and Leona Helmsley in the same place at the same time?
I didn't think so.
No, I don't
right.
think so.
I like Ariel. You know, she lost her voice, much like Faye Dunaway. But anyway, we have a piece about Disney heroines. Would you like to see it?
Yes, definitely. Great.
Well, here it is, because Colleen says so.
Your first image of Pocahontas, you see her standing up high on a cliff, right at the edge of a waterfall. The pose tells you volumes about her, that this is a hero like we've never had a hero.
At the time each film was made, it sort of represents where women were in our culture. Jasmine, you know, she is coming of age. She is a teenager, and she's going from not quite knowing what she wants, but knowing she wants something different than what she's been told she's supposed to have.
But Jasmine, you're a princess.
Then maybe I don't want to be a princess anymore.
Oh.
She's different from the earlier Disney heroines, the leading women in the earlier animated films, in that she's allowed to be much stronger, much more independent, and even a little defiant.
But behind that fair facade, I'm afraid she's rather odd, very different from the rest of us. She's nothing like the rest of us.
Belle was wonderful because she was a different kind of heroine. You know, she was intellectual. She was, you know, the bookworm, not your stereotypical, you know, leading lady. She was sort of odd and strange and didn't quite fit in.
I want more. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing.
For me to research the character of Ariel was a little bit difficult because there hadn't been an animated fairy tale in 30 years. And the Disney heroines from the years and the decades before that were very different than Ariel. She's very independent, she's very strong-willed, but she also has quite a sense of vulnerability about her.
Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world.
I think it's really interesting to see the common thread that goes through the new Disney heroines. Again, we're dealing with ambition, self-confidence, assurance in who they are, their independence. But again, we have to look to those other heroines from the previous years for some kind of guidance.
Tell us a story.
Ask her who she is.
Oh, how silly of me. I'm Snow White. Once there was a princess, and she fell in love. It was very easy. Anyone could see that the prince was charming.
Are you ready for the thing called love? Don't come for me and you, it comes from up above. I ain't no porcupine, take off your kid glove. Are you ready for the thing called love?
How do we become strong and successful and independent and still be gentle and caretaking? How do we sort of integrate those qualities?
That's where I think our new Disney heroines are complete women on their own. What I've learned is that if you do what you love, you can definitely go way beyond what you thought you ever could.
Follow your heart, follow your instincts, and I think that's a wonderful thing to say to children.
Danny Bonaducci live in Central Park. I was getting ready to watch Pocahontas with my family. Then the newest member of my family had a diaper emergency and had to go with mommy. I was getting kind of sad that I wouldn't get to see it with my family, but the Mathis family over here was kind enough to adopt me. Hi, Dad.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you for adopting me. I appreciate it. Okay. Hi, Mom. And I guess this would be my newest brother and sister. Hi, guys. What's your name?
Ashley.
Ashley, that's a pretty name. You ready to see Pocahontas?
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Have you ever taken them to, have they been to Disney World or Disneyland yet?
No, they're going when the little one over here gets big enough to enjoy it.
Oh, that's a good idea. This is going to be great. How long have you been waiting to come and see Pocahontas? How'd you get your tickets?
A friend of mine couldn't make it and was kind enough to pass them to me.
What's his name?
Bill Bratton.
Sorry, Bill. We're having a great time. Wish you were here, dude. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you, Dad.
All right.
Even the wild mountain stream must someday join the big river.
As the river cuts his path, though the river's proud and strong, he will
Connie.
There's been a lot of misinformation over the years about Pocahontas. The fact is, though, she was a princess. She was a little younger in real life than she is represented in this movie, but she did rescue John Smith.
So he says. And, of course, Pocahontas has been the subject of paintings and poetry and even some previous films, but my guess is that Pocahontas would like this movie the best.
It seems simple, but we're not Native American. As artists, we just have to take whatever facts we can gather and just interpret it and put it on the screen in a manner that it's a part of us and a part of them. So I thought, yeah, the legend of Pocahontas is her love story with John Smith. So that was what the hook to the whole thing for me, was the idea of it being a love story. And whether anyone can, without question, say she was or wasn't in love with John Smith, I mean, I defy them to really show the facts on that. It's up in the air what really happened.
The Pocahontas story, it just makes a much greater, more dramatic, more romantic story if Pocahontas is made a bit older than her actual 11 years. Almost every artist and writer who has dealt with the story of Pocahontas has made her considerably older. The historical facts have been manipulated by various artists and writers and now filmmakers for well over 200 years to get the greatest drama that they can out of it.
Who played poker with Pocahontas when John Smith went away?
Those who tell the story of Pocahontas don't celebrate the fact that she was indeed a child during the years 1607 to 1609. A child was the one who was responsible for performing deeds that actually had an impact on history.
Captain Smith and Pocahontas had a very mad affair. When her daddy tried to kill him, she said, "Daddy, oh, don't you dare."
Oh, Pocahontas, this is she I told thee of Newport.
Oh, the maid who saved thy life.
Aye.
A lot of times when we've discussed with historians or authorities what exactly happened, everybody would always say, we believe that, or our guess is, or our best estimate is this happened. So in other words, you don't really know. It's like no one really knows. John Smith disappeared from the camp. He reappeared 2 weeks later with this incredible tale about being held captive by the savages and almost executed, and the princess of the savages saved him. And he didn't speak their language, they didn't speak his language. And we have to go by his word of what, what he says he went through. And this is where, you know, fact leaps off and legend begins.
When we went down to Jamestown, Virginia to research the movie, we were very impressed with the Native Americans that we met down there. We met many people who were very receptive to the idea of us making a film about Pocahontas.
When the folks from Walt Disney visited us over a year ago, they mainly came out to see what Jamestown was really like, what it was all about. They were very concerned with being as accurate as they could when it came to how our clothing and how our ships and our fort and our Indian village were laid out. They wanted to duplicate 17th century Virginia. So they actually photographed us and talked with our historians, and we consulted with them and advised them on as many of the things as they had questions about.
It's my job as an animation art director to take those colors and to heighten them, you know, which you can only do in animation. So the beauty of our medium is that you can take something like Virginia, for instance, that's a very, very real place, but you can make it entirely Shangri-La.
So you'll see in our story these trees that go straight up forever, almost like rulers, and just walls of them with these long, low horizon levels that play really nicely perpendicular against them. And it gives a real feeling of stability and tranquility to the region. And as far as the look of the Indian village, it's different than anything we've seen in movies before.
I don't think there's any likelihood of us changing our interpretation of Pocahontas based on information from the Disney film. It is really not an historically accurate film, although there has been a sincere attempt to preserve the feel and atmosphere of Indian life in 17th century Virginia.
I love this film. And anybody that nitpicks it and criticizes it for historical accuracy is not a child. Doesn't have the same sensations and feelings as children, you know? And that's all I care about. The children are going to see this. They're the future.
Well, you know what? The people have been coming to the park since 2 o'clock this afternoon. What have they been doing? They've been entertained, that's what, by some of the most talented people around, dancers, singers, actresses. It's all been going on. So we're going to give you a little taste of the stage show and just show you.
But there's something in him that I simply didn't see. Tale as old as time, true as it can be. Barely even friends.
Oh, it's all just too much and too beautiful, isn't it? I think I need a break, and I think you need one too. Go get a drink. We'll be right back.
I feel it there beyond those trees or right behind these waterfalls. Can I ignore that sound of distant drumming? For a handsome, sturdy husband who builds handsome, sturdy walls and never dreams that something might become.
Behind us, the Be Our Guest number is going on as part of the pre-show here on the Great Lawn, and let's take a listen.
It's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. They can sing, they can dance. After all, this is France. And the dinner here is never second best. Go on and fold your land. You take a glance and then you'll be our guest. Be our guest. Be our guest.
The music you're hearing now is from Alan Menken, who composed the Broadway production of Beauty and the Beast, had a Tony nomination for it. In fact, a lot of the music you're going to hear tonight is from the amazing Alan Menken, also the composer of Pocahontas. And with Pocahontas, Alan Menken scores again.
He won 6 Oscars, Alan Menken. He's a very talented man.
score really carries a lot of burden. It should have some relationship to time and place in score, so that when dealing with Ariel, there is a certain timelessness and a water motif that runs through it. When you're dealing with Belle, it's much more rooted. It's rooted in a time and place, and it's there goes the baker with his tray like always, the same old bread and rolls to sell. Every morning just the same, since the morning that we came to this poor provincial town. Good morning, Belle.
When I first heard Beauty and the Beast, you know, you get like a lump in your throat and you feel these emotions, and, you know, that's the sign of something that's quite brilliant.
Riff-raff, street rat, I don't buy that. If only they'd look closer, would they see a poor boy? No, siree. They'd find out there's so much more to me. In a sense, every protagonist has as many similarities as differences, because what your protagonist in a musical is someone with a longing, someone with this quest to be someplace else, to be someone else, to have something.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew.
I probably had tears streaming down my face as I was playing A Whole New World, and I look out and these pre-kindergartners are singing along.
A whole new world with you.
Now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Who'd have ever thought that this could be?
The songs really function as, you know, in a score, as a team. How can you have a Beauty and the Beast without a Be Our Guest, without Gaston, without Belle?
Something in him that I simply didn't see. Up where they walk, up where they run.
I'm very touched by things that are very simple, that are very clear in their form. You know, music is like a thread, and you pull it along, and you can attach a lot of things to that thread.
What would I give if I could live out of these waters? I look once more just around the river bend.
Pocahontas is a very real story, as Disney stories go. And of course, Pocahontas' story is not a Disney story, but it is an adaptation. And in the adaptation, we really try to tell a very romantic, almost Romeo and Juliet kind of story. So, when we're dealing with Pocahontas and John Smith, it's this pure romance. If I never knew you, if I never felt this love, I would have no inkling of how precious life can be. I mean, is that Native American? Is it European? It's really something that feels appropriate to them, to their love.
Sometimes the music is really important, and I always feel that the job of the lyric is to let you know what the song is about very clearly and simply, and then get out of the way.
It does have to convey, you know, how seriously are we taking this story? How much fun are we going to have? How much do we want people to cry over this? How much do we want, you know, music serves a very important purpose that way in coloring throughout an entire project. If I never knew you, if I never felt this love, I would have no inkling of how precious life can be. And if I never held you, I would never have a clue how at last I'd find in you the missing part of me. If the person you're talking to is really moved and appreciative of what you've done, that's much better than fame and notoriety. I mean, occasionally I'll get on an airplane, and I remember once I got on an airplane and a stewardess walked up to me. She just put her hand over my heart. She said, "The man with the enchanted heart," which slayed me. I mean, that was better than, you know, every award I've ever gotten. This was
somebody really expressing what they felt. It was very moving.
Our friend Vanessa Williams is here.
Good evening.
Hello, ma'am.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
A lot of people out there.
Yeah, 100,000 of them. Tell me your connection to Pocahontas.
Well, I sing the end title theme song and the pop version. So my version is what you'll hear on the radio when you turn it on, and you'll hear me sing Colors of the Wind, which is Pocahontas' theme song.
Now, I've seen something you haven't seen.
Right.
I've seen your music video.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet,
well,
so it's true.
You just stick with us, Vanessa. We're going to bring you the whole thing. Here's a little bit of Vanessa right here singing Colors of the Wind.
And we're all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or let the eagle tell you where he's been?
Vanessa, were the children excited about your doing the song?
Oh, yeah, it's a big deal. They're here tonight, and the fact that I'm associated with the whole Disney family, they're very happy about that. A lot of free product for them.
Update me. I haven't seen you in about a year. Tell me the ages.
They are 7, 5, and 2. 2 girls and a boy.
How do you do this?
Luckily, I have a very supportive husband, a great nanny, and a lot of people that know that my kids are important and work it into my schedule to either bring them along or have them, have my schedule flexible.
Well, you are the all-time champion supermom. You have always found a way to engage the children in what you're doing and yet keep your career on track. How did you make a song that's already in a movie, sung by someone else,
right,
your song, and you have made it your song? How do you do that?
You just try to bring what you do best to whatever the material you have. I mean, between Stephen Schwartz and Alan Menken, you can't go wrong. It's definitely a hit. And the images are so vivid and so clear that it was just a matter of feeling the moment and putting that on, we don't say vinyl anymore, putting it on a CD now.
Did you stay away from Judy Kuhn, who is the singing voice of
Right.
Pocahontas? Did you stay away from her? Did you not want to hear her version of it?
Actually, they gave me initially a version of Alan at the piano singing, so it was quite different as a male voice. And, just him singing to an acoustic piano, so that was was my barometer. And between me and Keith Thomas, who produced Save the Best for Last and The Sweetest Days for me, we got our winning team together and came up with what we do best.
Well, Ed Begley Jr. earlier said that this song will win the Academy Award next year. And I've got to tell you, I won't disagree with him. And so we will further that prediction by saying, and you will hear it sung by.
I hope so.
The ever wonderful Vanessa Williams.
I hope
will you
so.
and the kids enjoy the night?
Thanks
I hope
so
you
much.
have your rain gear. We have our fingers crossed. So
yeah.
far, so good. It was great to see you.
Good seeing you too.
And come back to Broadway.
I
we
hope
miss
so.
you.
I
we
will.
miss you, Vanessa.
Thank you.
And we'll be back from the great lawn of Central Park right after this.
Live from Central Park, Disney's Pocahontas, the premiere in the park. Sponsored in part by the new Dodge. See your local Dodge dealer today. By Royal Mystic. Look for the amazing taste of Mystic all-natural fruit drinks and real brewed iced teas at your favorite store. By Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. And by Glidden Paint, celebrating 120 years of making the world a colorful place.
The pre-show is going on behind Ed and me on that vast stage, and that's where we're going to take you right now. Down to the stage with all those fabulous purple lights.
The distinctive voices of Les Beaux Elves.
It's a terrific show, too. It's really fabulous. Stephanie, are you with us?
Yes, I am, Pat and Ed.
I'm here with my good friend Michael. Say again?
Michael.
Michael, of course, and
Lisa.
Lisa, and
John Edward.
and some guy way over there. Oh, it's a woman.
Diana.
Hi. You guys know what the movie's about?
Yeah, I think so. It's a romance.
It's a romance.
Yeah.
Oh, is that putting you in a romantic mood?
The two of us, yes.
Really? Are you married?
No.
Oh, I think you should tonight. It's so
My
romantic.
goodness. Well, maybe we'll think about it. Thanks for the advice.
I love doing that to men.
Puts us on the spot, makes us feel sort of weird. But maybe tomorrow.
All right. Okay, fine. All right, let's take a look up at the stage and see if we can all get romantic together.
The day we arrived on the planet and step into the sun. There's more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. There's far too much to dig in here, more to find than can ever be found.
Hi, guys. You know, these people are having a great time here, but we started early today. A lot of these people got here like 1 o'clock this afternoon.
They're calling this a family Woodstock, or since the Disney event, Waltstock. I love that. What does one wear to these things? Cool. I don't think so.
We ask that you
Is this a cool Woodstock family or what? Oh, look, they're in their Woodstock wear.
Yeah, oh yeah. Farmer John.
You don't see those bib overalls very much, except, I don't know.
Oh, no, they're in now. They're in now.
I've been adopted by the yuppie group. Oh, it's for me. I'm sorry. I have to go. Yeah, babe. Yeah, love you. Mean it. All right, bye-bye. Okay. Can you say far out for me?
Far out.
How about groovy?
Groovy.
Can you say far out, man?
Far out, man!
I hate when kids overact, don't you?
I'm telling you, this family Woodstock thing has been great. Excuse me, sir. Do you know what time Janis Joplin's on?
Oh, yeah, she's coming out right after Jimi Hendrix.
Hakuna Matata. Oh, sorry. Hi. We're having a great time. Pocahontas Live in the Park. I'm Danny Bonaducci. At the beginning of the show, Stephanie Miller was telling you about her new nighttime talk show. So I guess I'd be remiss in my duty if I didn't tell you about my new daytime talk show, Danny. It's easy to remember. Danny in the daytime, Stephanie Miller, Lady of the Evening. Wait, Woman of the Night. No, that's not good. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Hakuna Matata.
Just around the river bend, just around the river bend. Once more, just around the river bend, beyond the shore, somewhere past the sea. Don't know what for. Why do all my dreams?
Get.
Well, the sky may be growing dark, but let me tell you, things are really lighting up here. I'm having such a good time. This is so much fun. I tell you what I'm looking at right now, and I think I want to show everybody out there what I'm seeing. The stage is lit up so beautiful. We've had great performances all day. We have been entertained endlessly. So what I'm going to do is make sure that you see all the action that we're seeing here. Don't worry. I'll never let you down. I'm downtown Judy Brown. You know that. But ready? Okay, to the stage we go.
Play.
Danny Bonaducci here with Pocahontas, live from the park. You know, I've been in TV and movies since I was about her age, yet I still don't know how animation works. Do you draw the mouth to match the voice? Hi. Or do you draw the voice to match the mouth? I don't get it. I can't draw a conclusion. Oh, I'm killing me. Let's find out. Okay, here comes a Masterpiece Theater.
Good evening, and welcome to Masterpiece Theater. Tonight's topic focuses on the most challenging vocation of acting in an animated feature. Like no other theatrical or motion picture portrayal, animation demands that performers elevate their skills to a higher dimension.
Quite honestly, this style of acting is easier than having to fill a 2,000-seat house.
Careful! I find voiceover work easy because you don't have to have your hair coiffed. You don't have to be made up and have your lipstick on.
I know.
Acting is acting.
The auditions are dreadfully competitive, and only the few who toil diligently to achieve perfection are awarded with the coveted rose.
How do you do? My father was a singing teacher in Los Angeles, and one day one of the Walt Disney representatives called his studio and asked if he knew of a little girl who could sing and speak as a child would. And I was listening in on the extension phone, and I said, "Papa, how about me?" And I went, "Oh, oh, oh, oh." And so the man on the other phone said, "Let the little girl come down and we'll try her out. She sounds kind of cute with that voice."
Oh, no more, please. I am really in a great deal of trouble.
I was a big shot. I was in the middle of Green Acres. I never had to audition. I have sort of, so they tell me, I have a distinctive voice, I guess. And they liked it, and they heard it enough. God knows I was on every week.
You nearly died. I saved you.
Nathan Lane and I auditioned for the Hyenas. So we heard 3 months later that we're in The Lion King, but we're not playing the Hyenas. They've written these 2 characters for us because of that audition.
The actors must then spend many hours preparing for the performance, searching for the appropriate motivation, finding the through line, interpreting the character to embody its soul, if you will.
He thinks that Gaston is this deep, you know, character
He
with
is.
a soul.
He is. He's misunderstood.
Oh.
He's tortured.
Oh, yes. No, he tortures everyone else. He's not tortured.
Only because he's tortured.
Do you buy that? I don't.
Needs to shine forth.
It's true, Nippu. And I've got my sights set on that one.
The inventor's daughter?
She's the one. The lucky girl I'm going to marry.
As far as research goes, no. I didn't do any research, read the Arabian Nights tales or anything like that.
Personally, I ate a lot of pizza with pepperoni on it. It gives me that kind of voice that you really need for the authentic hyena.
Man, I hate lions.
The soul of a character which may be an animal, inanimate object, or other creature, and one that does not exist in human form in our world.
You would see yourself as some object or animal. It was quite extraordinary.
Oh, he'll let you know somehow.
This fat old chicken, which I'm trying very hard not to be myself in real life, you know. Old fat chicken.
Why do I always have to save you? They call me Mr. Pig!
If I'm recording, I get loosey-goosey. I get in this kind of posture here. And people say I start looking like Goofy.
In an animated film, the actors must face long hours of simply excruciating labor, not to mention demanding production situations and rigid performance restrictions.
Every time you got called in for another session, it was like a party. It was like a picnic.
You could do anything you wanted. You could basically bounce off the wall.
I think it's that liberty which allows people to do eccentric and wonderful things.
They always say, go a little further with that. Come to the edge of the mountain, and now keep going.
The bigger, louder, faster, more broad you can make it, the better.
You do it about 9, 12, 15 different ways. Then, once they've started drawing, they can go and pick which reading of which line they want, and they put them all together.
It's no easy assignment. The actor is faced not only with temperamental directors and other actors who have creative differences, they must also please the persnickety animators as well.
Jonathan Freeman is one of my favorite actors to work with, one of my best pals. We had a whole bunch of children come in to watch rehearsals, and he did his Jafar laugh for them. And out of 9, about 5 of them fled the theater. They just ran into the lobby because he had scared them with his Jafar laugh.
They actually are very successful at stealing mannerisms and idiosyncrasies and injecting them into these characters.
The animators come into the studio and draw you while you're doing the parts.
Once I came in with a little hat, and next thing I know, the mouse has a little hat. Oh, Mr. Jake, will you guide us?
At your service.
And if you notice, the wardrobe wore eyelashes just like I did. And do.
You look at that candlestick, he's got my nose, and his eyes are kind of droopy, and I got hysterical. I thought it was wonderful.
My parents were particularly struck by it, how similar the character was to me.
My husband really saw it when he saw the film. He said, oh my God, that's you, that's you.
I see everything, except Pumbaa is a little thinner.
A little. And one must not forget the many hours it takes to master the complicated lyrics that music directors conjure up.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase.
Under the sea. Under the sea.
I'm especially good at expectorating.
Whistle while you work. When hearts are high, the time will fly. So whistle while you work. There.
They do not labor for fame or monetary gain. It is the potential to stretch their craft to the limit that draws the actors to animation.
I was very excited. I think I made them play it over and over again. It was like a big baby. So please show me again. I want to see it again. You know, it's great.
You know that stuff is going to live and live and live.
Splendid. Just peachy.
This is something that my great-grandchildren will be able to see.
They're very good things for children. And once they're good things for children, they should be very good for adults, too.
Oh, I'll show him who wears the crown.
Thus, acting in an animated film is not a career for the weak at heart. Oh, no. It takes discipline, diligence, command of the craft, and the ability to overcome any obstacle.
It's either this or the Funny Farm, and I chose Disney.
For Masterpiece Theater, I am Milo O'Shea. M-I-C, see you real soon, K-E-Y. Why? Because we like you. M-O-U-S-E.
Our aerial shots tonight, courtesy of the MetLife blimp, always under the command of Chief Pilot Tony Stevenson. The co-pilot, of course, is Snoopy. You know, the blimp, I didn't know this, typically cruises at a speed of 35 miles an hour. We're cruising here in Central Park, Ed Begley Jr. and I, and we're coming right back after this.
The good news is the movie has begun and people are loving it. The bad news is it drizzled a little bit there for a while.
Just a little bit, but they were resourceful. Out came the umbrellas and the little ponchos, and all was well. What you're hearing behind us, the voices of Pocahontas, are actually two voices. One, Judy Kuhn, who you met earlier, who is the singing voice,
So
and the
terrific.
speaking voice of Irene Bedard.
Oh, she is so great.
Oh,
she is, she grew up in Alaska. She's an Inupiat Eskimo and a French-Canadian Cree. I'm so impressed with her as an actor. I'm just so impressed by her skills. She's a great new actress. Watch this video, Irene Bedard.
Irene Bedard is Pocahontas. Take one.
Irene, he's asking about the river and you're answering, but you're kind of looking at this helmet, so that's kind of the situation. You're starting to sort of, your little minds are curious about each other and what each of you, you know, what world you came from.
It's how we say hello.
Mike or Eric or someone would say, well, we like that quality, but maybe if you put a little more of a smile in it, you know, or maybe if you maybe we need to have this be a little more serious.
It was all in Irene's dialogue. There was a control that she was bringing to the character and a depth that you felt like you could animate Pocahontas without having to mug her. She didn't have to do a lot. She had a presence that stood confidently on the screen by herself, and she didn't need a whole lot of extras.
I mean, that's really part of the magic of Disney, is that they really bring mannerisms and expressions to these animated characters, and it brings them to life. I mean, Pocahontas breathes, you know, she's alive.
And when I finally met her, I was stunned. She really was Pocahontas. It was quite amazing to me, you know, just how true she was to what was being drawn. I was flabbergasted.
The final product, when you meet Irene Bedard, you're going to feel like you're talking with Pocahontas.
That's what this is. It's giving as much life as you can to a character, all through your voice.
Numacha.
Very good.
There's always a little pause afterwards. Is it right?
Pocahontas is one of the very few positive Native American role models or Native American characters for kids that I've seen. Historically, Native Americans have not been played by Native Americans, so that perspective usually, I mean, even me growing up, we were always the bad guys from what I saw.
The main thing that I've tried to do as an actress is to bring a three-dimensionality to the characters, make them real, full human beings with wants, desires, doubts, fears, misunderstandings, prejudices, you know, all the things that make us all up. Father, I think my dream is pointing me down another path.
Pocahontas, come with me. You are the daughter of the chief. It is time to take your place among our people.
This whole Pocahontas thing is something I can show to my kids, my grandkids, and it's something that is part of history and is a wonderful part of history. It makes me happy to be part of it.
Just around the river, turn out the movie.
Oh, we're here at the park having a great time. I'm here with Audrey and her son, Robert. I'll tell you why I picked Robert, because Robert was singing this song. Sing it, Robert. Oh, it's really good. He was singing the I Want to Be on TV song. Robert. Oh, we're getting heckled in just a moment here. Oh, there seems to be a little disturbance in the park. Hello, security, please report. All right. What's your favorite Disney movie?
Well,
animated?
My favorite Disney animated movie for years has been Fantasia, but now there's a new title holder. It is this movie, Pocahontas. It's the most terrific movie I've ever seen of all the Disney animated films. It's really about something special.
We were growing up. I don't think we were very curious about the magic behind the movie. We just accepted that it was terrific, and we didn't ask, well, how did they do this and how did they do that? But kids today are very curious. They want to know how it happens and what it takes to make it happen. So since it's complicated, we asked a kid to find out. We asked Brian Press, who, by the way, just had his bar mitzvah, and who you will know is the star of the Broadway production Beauty and the Beast. We asked Brian to go in search of the answers behind the mysteries of animation. Brian?
When I first started, I thought animation was about a lot of moving drawings. And I find that that's not what it's about.
Animation? No sweat. I mean, if I can make a disembodied singing teacup come to life, of course I can do this. No problemo. Oh, you probably don't recognize me with my arms and legs. I'm Brian Press. I played Chip the Teacup in Disney's Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. circles with some hair. This here, yeah. Tongue. Voila!
Well, it doesn't quite work like that, Brian.
Oh, cool, it's Glenn Keane. He's like the head of Disney Animation. Glenn, boy, did I luck out on this. How do you do this?
Look, Brian, I can't teach you to animate a feature film in 5 minutes. It's a complicated thing. I mean, it's taken me a long time to learn it.
Well, Glenn, I don't have a long time.
Hang on, it's not that tough. You know, you should start off slow. You'll eventually pick it up as you do it. You got to make some mistakes along the way. Everybody does. I did. You will too.
Glenn, if I had to know one thing about animation, what would it be?
The most important thing is you've got to believe in the character that you're animating. If you don't believe it, no one else will. And then once you start to get a character you believe in, then you can start to develop the idea, and you can tell a story, and the audience will start believing it too, and then you're on your road.
If I do marry, I want it to be for love.
I deserve the best.
Well, of course. No wonder we're dangling at the bottom of the food chain.
Nobody just sits down and starts drawing Pocahontas perfectly, you know, or drawing Radcliffe perfectly. You need to sort of evolve and get into the flow of it. I had about 14 character animators working with me on creating all the footage on Captain John Smith for the movie. A male character, a straight character, is probably one of the most difficult things to animate.
Many times I will spend hours, days, trying to come up with an expression that I feel fits the mood that I feel inside.
And then when we just sit down at the boards, the drawing board, we just keep working and working till we get the right attitude, the right timing of the character, something that feels natural and real. The first time Smith meets Percy, and he treats him like a dog, which is what Percy hates the most.
At the end, when he goes held, you could just put a little animation on the bell right about there.
This little thing going back and forth.
So when he goes still, ding, 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 you know, just
nice
so
accent to
you
the
can
whole
get, and Mark can hook in with the sound effects.
Hey there, Percy.
It's kind of like a comic book sort of thing. You know, we tell the story with pictures, and then those pictures are filmed on a work reel, and we put a scratch soundtrack on it. And it kind of gives us a rough comp what the film looks like.
I went down to Jamestown. I took my video camera with me and started running through the woods. You know, just running through, and you'd see these trees. And as I was going through there, I kept thinking, this is where Pocahontas really was, and she should feel very at ease and one with the forest, you know, so she just moves through these trees. I realized how hard it was when I started trying to do it. You know, I'm running into trees, tripping and falling. So the first scene that I animated of Pocahontas was her doing what I couldn't do.
Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth.
With Pocahontas, I love the idea that she feels called to something big. She doesn't know what it is. She sings this song just around the river bend. She knows that there's something waiting for her. She doesn't know what it is.
Once around the river bend, waiting just around the river bend.
I would hope that anybody watching this film, whether a child or an adult, is going to come away with the feeling that you have a calling in your life and you don't want to settle for second best. You want to reach that potential that's in your life to really attain everything that you've been put here on earth to attain.
Feel it there beyond those trees or right behind these waterfalls. Can I ignore that sound of distant drumming?
I just don't get how to do this.
You got to start with an idea. I mean, if you don't have something to say, then you will have nothing to animate.
I don't know, Glenn. I'm not really sure it's my cup of tea. What?
There may be something there that wasn't there before.
What's there, Mama?
I'll tell you when you're older.
You know, before I agreed to be part of this, I was concerned of how the Native American people were treated in this show. But when I heard Russell Means was involved, I was very, very pleased, because of course he's one of the founders of American Indian movement. He plays Pocahontas' father. He's a father himself of 10 kids. He's a granddad of 17. And when you see this film, you'll see he is the best man for the role.
Pocahontas, come with me. You are the daughter of the chief. It is time to take your place among our people.
I play Powhatan in Pocahontas. I'm an Oglala Lakota patriot. I am a leader of the American Indian movement. Fortunately, the first 5 years of my life were largely influenced by my grandparents. And so I'm very familiar with the traditional worldview of my people.
We did extensive casting searches throughout the country for Native American actors. And the thing about animation, of course, it doesn't make any difference what you look like. It's really how you sound.
Your mother wore this for our wedding. I have waited a long time to see you wear it.
Thank you, Father.
I didn't know how to approach animated features. I thought that I was supposed to somehow find a voice range for Powhatan.
This is the right path for you.
But why can't I choose?
The bigger river is steady and reliable.
I read the script, and there was just no way that I saw Powhatan any other way but a very proud, gentle, caring man who had a lot of strength and wisdom.
Mary Kokoum?
I told him it would make my heart soar.
When we had him in to read a couple of lines for us, we were all blown away by the depth that he brought.
We all must find our own paths through life. You and I, even the river.
When he makes statements and he commands that nation, man, he takes the whole film by the collar.
Russell was a very good resource for us in terms of how things might be said. He helped us in terms of lines where we might be saying things not quite the way an Indian would.
For example, we don't address people by their names. We address them by relationships. In other words, you know, you're a friend, or you're a cousin, or you're an aunt or a grandmother or a daughter. You just do not, you use the relationship. That brings you closer, makes you more human.
It was her dream to see you wear it at your own.
It's beautiful.
The role of Chief Powhatan that I really enjoyed the most is his relationship with his daughter. That really struck me right here, you know? He was so gentle.
As the river cuts his path.
The conductor of the orchestra, who also knows about voice, he came and auditioned me to sing for the part.
Live so long. They're steady as the steady beating drum.
And I never had the remotest thought that I would ever be part of the entertainment industry. And now I'm into it full force. I made my first album during the filming while we were working on this. I call it Rapaho, because when people ask me if I'm a rapper, I say, no, I'm Rapaho. What makes me feel so gratified and a part of doing something that makes change is the fact that Hollywood's been the worst perpetuator of racism against Indian people. And that's changing. I'm a major part of the first historical feature-length film about history, and I'm not revising history. It's Walt Disney who's revising history, correctly, of course.
Excuse me, we're watching a movie here. Don't interrupt us. What do you think of all the characters in the movie?
They're beautiful.
What about Pocahontas?
She's beautiful.
And you?
I love her.
You love all the characters, though, don't you? Have you got anything else to say, ladies?
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You should listen to the kids.
Even the wild mountain stream must someday join the big river.
As the river cuts his path, though the river's proud and strong, he will choose the smoothest course. That's why rivers live so long.
For the
The rain is holding off.
Yes.
Happily, the film holding rapt attention, the children and their moms and dads here on the great lawn. The MetLife blimp providing us with these spectacular aerial shots tonight, flying at an altitude of 1,200 feet. We are down closer to the ground at Begley Jr. and I here on the great lawn in Central Park.
Okay, we're going to go to Danny now, and he's down there, and he's going to tell us about the Jamestown settlers.
Thanks, guys. You know, they say that in every life a little rain must fall, and apparently tonight is no exception. The only difference is even a downpour cannot dampen our spirits. Nobody ran for cover, nobody got out of the way, which is a testament to the entertainment value of Pocahontas. Now, when you see this movie, your kids are going to ask you a lot of questions. Who did this? Who was that? You better watch this next segment so you can answer the tough questions. It's on the Jamestown settlers. Take a look.
In 1607, we sailed the open sea for glory, God, and gold, and the Virginia Company. For the new world is like heaven, and we'll all be rich and free. Or so we have been told by the Virginia Company.
We start the story showing John Smith and the rest of the crew members from Britain setting sail for America. And trying to find a new life there.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What you say?
My name's Christian Bale, and I play Thomas. I've heard some amazing stories about him. He's the youngest sailor on board. Everything's new to him all the time, so he's constantly ribbed by the other sailors.
What are you doing there, son? I'll kick you right up your britches if you...
What is it?
I play Lon, who's one of the settlers, and he's lovely. He's lovable and adorable. That's why I got the part.
These men, under great amount of stress, and how even the weakest of these people would find the hero inside of themselves.
They have hardships along the way, but eventually they reach the shore.
Thomas has been educated that the Indians are savages.
A savage? We will eliminate these savages once and for all.
He believes, you know, the governor and the authorities that, you know, have said, you know, shoot first and ask questions later.
I make the laws here. And I say, anyone who so much as looks at an Indian without killing him on sight will be tried for treason and hanged.
In that time in history, the muskets that the Europeans used, the Indian could get off anywhere from 4 to 7 arrows before you could reload a musket. We didn't have superior weapons. We had the superior weapons. So that's a misnomer in history.
It's dicey when you're dealing with historical material, and we've come across this. We all struggled with this.
It was pretty interesting to see which of our crew they felt truly looked 17th century and which ones didn't. Us men of girth tended to look a little more 17th century to them than some of our skinnier, more nimble sailors did.
I like grew up.
We feel we're true to the spirit of the times and true to the personalities of the characters portrayed. In a way that we hope is dramatic and entertaining.
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
I'm back here at Central Park with the premiere of Pocahontas. What? What? How cute is that? This is Mona. What's that? Oh, I think it's my biological clock. And we're here with, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Philip.
Hi, Philip. How are you guys enjoying the show?
We really enjoy it, every minute, every second of it. Really good.
It's something, isn't it?
Beautiful.
She's very cute.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to make one of you one day. Really, I am. Seriously. I think I'm annoying.
It's hard work, too.
All right. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
Live from Central Park, Disney's Pocahontas, the premiere in the park. Sponsored in part by Acura, who invite you to test drive the exciting new TL series. By Bandai, the makers of Power Rangers action figures. And by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
I know you use the park. I see you out here on your bicycle, Mr. Begley.
I'm here nearly every day. I'm glad it's warmed up for this great event. It was cold a while ago. It was so cold a little while ago, the flashers were just describing themselves. That's cold.
The park is the butt of a lot of jokes, isn't it, about flashes and demonic rollerbladers and muggers. But if you live in New York, as we do,
It's the greatest.
It's our backyard.
It is.
And there are so many little wonderful secret places here.
Yeah, and now we have appropriately from the Secret Garden, Daisy Egan is going to give you a tour of Central Park.
A place where I can go, where I can whisper what I know, where I can whisper who I like, and where I go to see them.
Hi, I'm Daisy Egan. You might remember me from the Secret Garden on Broadway. Today I'm here at the Conservatory Garden to unlock the secrets of Central Park. From here in the garden, you can see all over the park. Take a look and see what I mean. Cool. Wow, I wonder who's in charge of all of this.
I am. I'm Henry Stern, and Mayor Giuliani appointed me Parks Commissioner. By the way, Central Park was the first public park built in America.
Oh, say, can you see?
The park, particularly these hills at the northern end, were the site of fortifications in both the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812. And the land was used for barracks during the Civil War.
Oh, Rhett, where shall I go? What shall I do?
The Tavern on the Green was originally a 19th century sheepfold. A shepherd lived there along with his flock, and he used to graze them on the sheep's meadow.
Let's see who's on Sheep Meadow today.
Today, Sheep Meadow is New York City's largest sun deck.
What have we here?
There are 51 sculptures in Central Park. Almost all of them are gifts.
Why, thank you. It's lovely. And what's that I hear? Sounds like the lyrical verse of Shakespeare.
To be or not to be.
Oh, what fools these mortals be! And watch out! The park is full of some pretty wild animals.
There are 450 animals in the Central Park Zoo. Bird watchers love Central Park. We have blue jays, cardinals, blue and green herons, and pigeons. And we have the tufted titmouse, the mockingbird, the great egret, and the pigeon. And we have some wild animals, like squirrels, possums, and pigeons.
Pigeons are people too. Hey, I think I hear beautiful music. Let's see what it is.
The biggest events fill the great lawn.
All this action is making me tired. I think I'm gonna take a nap right here on this bench. It's no secret. There is a magical kingdom right here in Central Park. Central Park.
The day started early for the 100,000 lucky ticket
Yes, it did.
winners. They arrived, picnic baskets, rain gear, and Stephanie Miller caught up with some of Disney's lucky guests.
I'm here at the premiere of Pocahontas in Central Park. They've just opened the gates. Oh my God, it's the crowd scene from Gandhi. Oh, everybody run! Here we are at the New York City Pocahontas Marathon. What mile are we on?
I think we've walked about 100 feet now.
Ooh, ah. This is the Goldsteins, everyone. We're going to go find a place to sit. I'm, of course, with, what's your name?
Ariella.
Ariella, something like that.
Ariella.
Ariella, exactly. And this is, of course, the lovely and talented Mrs. Goldstein. Mr. Goldstein's over there. All right, should we enter right here? We'll just be stepping on various people on our way in. Woo! Now the Goldsteins are just hell-bent on finding the best spot here, apparently. You know, this reminds me of my real family. They were always trying to lose me. Hi. All right. All right.
I guess you found that spot.
Right here? Right here, hang on. Yeah, this is good. I think this is good. All right, let's see. We've found our seats. We've got about 6 more hours till the show starts. I know. Let's spend our entire paycheck on souvenirs. Hi, may I help you?
Make a popcorn and a Diet Coke.
That'll be $1,000. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our tour for today. We're all settled in now and ready to go.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. You know, this is not the biggest event ever to be held in Central Park. I don't know how many people know this. The Partridge Family actually played here to 500,000 people. All right, we never played Central Park, but I understand a couple of the original cast members actually live under Grand Central Station. I don't know, that's what I heard. Let's take a break. We'll be back live to Pocahontas from the park.
What's around the river bend? Waiting just around the river bend. I look once more, just around the river bend, beyond the shore, where the gulls fly free. Don't know.
Friends, okay, are bad to the bone. Check out some of these bad guys.
This is my land. I make the laws here.
I play Ratcliffe, who is the villain and certainly the heavy of the piece.
He wasn't quite the villain he's portrayed in this picture.
I don't want to know what he's really like.
John Ratcliffe was a historical character, but we've sort of thrown away all reference to the real John Ratcliffe.
We will eliminate these savages once and for all.
No, you can't do that. Oh, can't I?
The bad guys in Disney animated flicks are the best characters. They got the most juice in them, you know, because you could just be funny and evil at the same time.
Forgive me for not leaping for joy. Pathetic. It's time to say goodbye.
Every Disney animated feature has to have a villain, and of course Ratcliffe is ours, and is played by David Ogden Stiers. And he is a social climber, he is ambitious, he is looking to make his reputation.
I have very particular memories of who I think is a Disney villain. I think the traits are similar.
As a kid, I always wanted to be the voice of a Disney villain. It was always a very specific thing for me. Villain, you know, not just a voice, but the voice of a villain.
What I want from you is your voice.
They're the best characters and essential to all of the stories, the gasoline that makes the stories go. They're the things that make the villain or the heroes finally triumph in the end, because they're these huge obstacles always.
This is not done yet, boy!
Ratcliffe is more of an archetype than the other characters are. He has to carry the greed and racism in the picture.
And I say, anyone who so much as looks at an Indian without killing him on sight will be tried for treason and hanged.
So it helps to give the audience a little distance so that they can sit back and look at him and say, I don't identify with him the least.
Snow and gold you pick right off the tree, with a nugget for my Winnie and a nugget.
David has the ability, I think, to play a villain, if you will, without making him villainous. Really believing in what that guy wants, and yet having a sense of humor about it.
Why, for years they've been ravaging the New World of its most precious resources. But now...
It wasn't unhappy work by any means, but I didn't exactly carry a spirit of joy into the recording sessions, because this guy was after one thing. That's the smell in his nostrils. That's all he cares about. And he steamrolls people, just a good manipulator. But that only works so far, and after a while, it's orders. It's rabble-rousing, demagoguery.
And I suppose your little Indian friend told you this?
Yes, he gets busted. I mean, they throw him into a little boat and cart him off to the ship, kicking and screaming.
Lies! Lies! All of it!
We'll be back with more Pocahontas live from Central Park after this. We're back, and I think Julie Brown is down there in the lawn to say hello to us. Julie, are you with us?
A farewell.
That's right.
Julie.
I'm right here. You know what? It was so wonderful in Central Park to see people with all different languages, all colors come together and just spread out this field. So wonderful. It's been beautiful. I think I'm going to have to say goodbye now. Enjoy the movie when it opens nationwide on the 23rd. I'm out of here. Who do I go to now?
What a pro. Danny Bonaducci here with my pal, Stephanie Miller. And Stephanie,
And I'm pinching his butt right now as we're speaking.
And it's a good time. You know, we both have our own shows with Buena Vista, and they've told us we're fired unless we can name all 7 words right now.
Dopey.
Blitzen.
Grumpy. Sleepy.
Doc.
It's
the kid
sneezy.
with the ears, the ugly. No, none of them are
Lori.
ugly.
No, that's a partridge.
Why I said Keith.
Rudolph.
Ruben.
All right, we better get the heck out of here.
All
Let's
right.
throw it back to Pat and Ed. Thanks.
And we'll be back right after these messages live from Central Park.
As the movie plays in the background, I just want to say how proud I am to be part of this wonderful day and evening in the park, and especially part of this movie, which says more about stewardship of the earth, people living together. It's been an extraordinary experience. It's an extraordinary film.
It is indeed. We'll have to say goodnight. Stay tuned for the news from all of us at UPN 9. Thank you so much for being with us for this remarkable night in the most remarkable city on earth, New York City.
Promotional consideration provided by the Westwood Marquis Hotel and Gardens, an elegant 4-star all-suite hotel located in Los Angeles, just minutes from Beverly Hills and Santa Monica. And the Peninsula New York, a deluxe hotel ideally located in the heart of Midtown Manhattan. The Peninsula New York is the hotel of choice for discriminating travelers from around the world.
I feel it there beyond those trees or right behind these waterfalls. Can I ignore that sound of distant drumming? For a handsome, sturdy husband who builds handsome, sturdy walls and never dreams that something might be coming. Just around the river bend. Just around the river bend.
Holy Harper, say your prayers on Point Man, Wednesday at 8. Now, Reg Wells. Monica Pellegrini on sports. Direct from UPN 9 Studios, this is the Emmy Award-winning News 9 Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. We begin with Disney's Pocahontas premiere in Central Park. Tens of thousands of people from across the country are at the Great Lawn for the largest movie premiere ever. The animated feature is being shown on 480 by 120-foot screens. About 500,000 people sent away for free tickets to the event, but only 100,000 were lucky enough to get the coveted entrance passes. Sasha Fu is lucky enough to be live in Central Park with the latest. Sasha.
Reg, right at this moment, 100,000 adults and children are sitting behind me on the Great Lawn of Central Park, sitting in rapt attention as the story of Pocahontas unfolds before them. This has been a whole full day of activities, everything from picnics on the lawn to pre-show entertainment. It's also been a singular event for the city of New York and for the entertainment giant that's made it possible.
A party in the park, Disney style, hyped by some as a Woodstock for families.
I hope the big difference is that it doesn't rain, you see. That would be a big difference.
No mud, no moshing.
Well, there's plenty of AstroTurf.
Still, there was definitely a festive feel, with entrance to the park by tickets only. Gatecrashers were strictly out of luck.
We have all these police officers out here.
Everybody's been well behaved and organized.
Disney has pulled out all the stops. With a wave of the Disney wand, Central Park is transformed into a mega movie drive-in without the wheels.
Have a great time!
The Mouse That Roars has reportedly shelled out $100 million for this open-air movie premiere, paying the tab for police overtime, emergency medical services.
One woman sat on a bee, and
how were you able to help that?
Well, we called one of the female crew members to come over and see if the stinger was still in, and it wasn't.
And sanitation. Even picking up the trash seemed, well, special.
Yeah, everything's clean.
The folks at Disney have anticipated every need, and they have provided more than 300 portable toilets.
As part of the deal, Disney promises the screening won't cost the city of New York a simple red cent, and any leftover money will be donated back to the parks. Of course, Disney isn't ignoring the marketing opportunities for Pocahontas. There is wampum out there.
For a free event, they seem to be making a fortune. It's hilarious.
Except for the appearance of celebs and stars, this movie premiere seems a long way from Tinseltown. Finally, for all the excitement, some in this premiere audience weren't really sure what the big deal movie was all about.
A little pet, 2 little pets.
Another little boy told me he thought the story of Pocahontas was about a lady, a very big lady, and Disney certainly hopes this lady is big at the box office, sowing the seeds for the movie's success tonight here on the Great Lawn. We're live from Central Park. I'm Sasha Fu, News 9 Tonight.
Sasha, thank you very much. And in other news tonight,